example of that, we always watch movies and we tell you to watch certain movies. To get a real good example of that, there's a movie out that came out years ago. I believe it's called The Last Emperor or The Last Emperor of China. And they showed you from the time he was a little bitty boy, they had tutors wait for him hand and foot. They had guys changing his diapers and all kind of stuff to set him up to be the emperor. Then they had got, I believe it was Peter O'Toole. They had got this guy, he was a schoolmaster from England. And they had brought him over to China in the Forbidden City to train him how to write, how to read, how to speak, how to eat, how to sip tea, you know. And I believe he taught him about women and all that, man, because he got the experience. They had women, they brought Moabite women for him to just pop, to get experience over women. So when he got to that high office of king, he was fully experienced and he was well read. So the same thing happened with Paul. Go ahead.
It says, but it's under tutors and governors unto the time appointed of the Father. Even so we, when we were children, were in bondage under the elements of the world.
Yeah, so we going to school, right? What school are we going to? The school of hard knocks. Literally, we're going through the school of hard knocks, man. You know, we out there on the highways and the byways. It get cold. It's getting ready to get cold, man. You know, people talking shit about you, fights breaking out, all kind of madness, man. All kind of shit happening. So we're going to school with this truth, but we're dealing with them hard knocks. Go ahead.
It says, but when the fullness of the time was come, the Most High sent forth his Son, made of a woman, made under the law, to redeem them that were under the law.
Yeah, Israel. Who were was Esau and the other nations under the law? The Romans wasn't following the laws. Ain't see no damn Roman crack or Caesar reading out of the damn law. Out of the blessed law. Excuse me. Go ahead.
That we might receive the adoption of sons.
So who's going to receive the adoption of sons? The Israel. Read that again from the woman.
It says, but when the fullness of the time was come, the Most High sent forth his Son, made of a woman, made under the law.
In other words, he was born as a man. A man put his sperm in the woman. He went through a term of 9 months. Then he was born. He was born just like any other man. He was circumcised just like any other Israelite man. And the Romans wasn't circumcising themselves because they wasn't under the law. So how in the hell can you put Esau and the other nations in that? Go ahead.
Made under the law.
Because he was circumcised the 8th day. You know, Mary had to go through a purification. You know, they went to the Passover. Joseph and Mary went to the Passover. And then they couldn't find their son when he had turned 12. And they found him speaking to the doctors and the masters of the law. And then when his mother had found him, where have you been? We've been looking for you. And it says, know ye not that I must be about my Father's business. So he already knew that he was a chosen vessel unto the Lord. But his parents didn't know it quite yet. But eventually they knew. That's why his mother asked him to take water and turn it into wine, because they already knew that the Lord was dealing with him. Go ahead.
It says, to redeem them that were under the law, that we might receive the adoption of sons. And because you are sons,
to redeem them that are under the law. Look up the word redeem. Verse 5. Now go to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter and the 68th verse. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy 28:68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
Yeah, so you got these idiots out here that says that proves that's not talking about you Negroes, because it said no man gonna buy you. Well, it didn't just say up above that you shall be sold to your enemies, which are the Edomites, and no man shall buy you, meaning redeem you, buy you back, save you. So what did the brother just read in Galatians? We're gonna go get the Greek term, see what it says.
Okay, here's the Greek word here for redeem.
Strong's G 1805, exagerazo. Exagerazo.
You know, that's why we play we let him give the pronunciation. The word there is to redeem by payment of a price, to recover from the power of another, to ransom, buy off. Metaphor of Christ, which his name is Yahushua, freeing the elect from the yeah, like Elder Tar said, that's Esau saying that. You know, by the way, Esau knows that the chip, you know, that Revelation 13 and 16, Esau knows that that's the chip. All right? Metaphor of Yahushua, Christ, freeing the elect from the dominion of the Mosaic law at the price of his vicarious death. All right? To buy up for oneself, for one's use, to make wise and sacred use of every opportunity for doing good, so that zeal and well-doing are, as it were, the purchase money by which we make the time our own. Down here it says, to redeem by payment of a price, to recover from the power of another, to ransom, buy off.
So that's what it meant by when we went into Egypt in ships, no man shall buy you, meaning no one's going to deliver you. The deliverance is going to come when Shiloh come, all right? Pursuant to under him shall the gathering of the people be, all right? You got anything?
Yeah, back in Acts. This is Acts chapter 4, verse 13. Now when they saw the boldness of Peter and John and perceived that they were unlearned and ignorant men, they marveled that they took knowledge of them that they had, they marveled and they took knowledge of them that they had been with Yahushua. Now this is another backup to that. John chapter 7 and verse 14. Now about the midst of the feast, Yahushua went up in the temple and taught. And the Jews marveled, same thing they marveled at the disciples, saying, how knoweth this man letters, having never learnt? And now the precept for letters, it says, or learning. And he said, and the Jews marveled, saying, how knoweth this man letters, having never learnt? Yahushua answered them and said, my doctrine is not mine, but his that sent me. See, because they already knew who was learned and who wasn't, because they saw them coming up, to the temple, learning under certain tutors, that they would look at the guy and say, oh yeah, this guy came up under such and such, rabbi, whatever.
Yeah, you had, like I said, you had different classes of Israelites. You had like the royal class. Well, you had Herod, which he was supposed to be of the highest of the class, which those scribes and Pharisees and those masters and doctors of the law, they, for the most part, they were kissing his ass, man. Now, whether they knew, because Herod looked like an Israelite, he looked like one of us. Now, whether some of them knew or some of them didn't know, they said, well, he's in the seat of the king. Then under that class, you had the doctors, the lawyers, the scribes, the Pharisees. Because what is a scribe? A scribe is a Pharisee is an office in Israel. A scribe is a scriber. That was his profession. He wrote the text. And then you had like a working class, which you had carpenters, you had fishermen, because they lived by the coast. So you had a lot of fishermen, you had a lot of carpenters, you had a lot of different employment or businesses of different Israelites, and what they did was they gave 10%, according to the law, to that higher class, to the scribes and the Pharisees and so forth. And then the king, he was over them, so they had to pay to him. So that's how it worked. So when Yahushua came on the scene, he was born in a common household. His father was a lowly carpenter but you wasn't all that lowly, because back then you made a lot building houses and so forth. And the same thing with James, John, Peter, Andrew. They were fishermen and so forth. And that was at the sea coast. So, I mean, you made a lot of money catching fish. That was a lucrative business. But these guys wasn't of the class of the scribes and the Pharisees and the doctors of the law.